Hello, English 200 students. In this video, we will cover the references list, which is the major assignment due for Module 2. Before I begin, I just want to show you an example of what a references list looks like. Hopefully, you have written one of these before in one of your previous classes. This is what is required to show that you have used outside information to support your ideas or claims within your writing. So, this is a references list right here. Hopefully it looks familiar, and if not, we will walk you through it. All right, for this references list, it will be about 1 to 2 pages because you are not including anything else at this point. All that is needed is your references list. So that means you don't even need a title page. You are just formatting some potential sources in APA and submitting them to your instructor. You do need a total of 7 sources, 2 general but credible, and 5 peer-reviewed. If you have questions about how to evaluate your sources or you're still a little unsure about this, please do the assigned readings first, and then don't hesitate to reach out to your instructor or a librarian for more help. But in general, the basic idea is that these general but credible sources are higher tier. They are maybe a newspaper or a magazine or a .gov website, something that is a little bit more trustworthy, that you hope and assume that this person did their research and that they are presenting this information in an accurate way. It's not yet at the level of a peer-reviewed scholarly article, but it might even have been written by a scholar. So for example, I've had students use Psychology Today, which are more general sources, but you take a look at that author and the author has a PhD in psychology. So that is definitely a general but credible source. The 5 peer-reviewed are ones that you will find in our school library, and those were peer-reviewed, which means reviewed by peers, kind of like what you do or will be doing soon in a coming few modules. But this time it is a peer of scholars. So other scholars have looked at this information. They've made sure that everything works as it should for the quality expected from researchers. So again, that means you need 2 general but credible and 5 peer-reviewed for a total of 7 sources. You can see right here the prompt. Again, we cover and provide a link for these more how to evaluate your sources, how to determine which ones you want to use, how to determine the quality of them. I do want to point out that at this time, you do not have to read the entire article. Instead, I would begin with the abstract just to determine, is this source valuable to you? Is it related to your topic? Is it something you could use? Hopefully the abstract will tell you that. I also want to point out that these sources are not final, meaning they are not etched in stone. It is possible that as you continue this project, you might find other sources that are a little bit better for your work, better for your project. That is okay. Right now, we just want to help you get started using the library, finding and evaluating information, and developing a basic references list that you will build upon in the coming modules. Your instructor also wants to make sure that you're on the right track with your APA formatting. We know how tedious and frustrating this process can be, so this gives you an early chance to just get it finished with, get it over with, make sure that you know how to use and utilize APA formatting. The audience for this assignment is your instructor. However, it's again just an APA formatted references list. So consider it to be academic, but you're not going to have any of your own writing in here. The APA formatting itself is that academic audience, or that meets that expectation that your academic audience has. It is very common as you go through your college experience that you're going to have to find and use sources. This is one of those bread and butter aspects of college and of academia. So the big thing here then is, how do you evaluate quality sources to support your claims, to support your analysis, or to support your research? That is one half of the major push of this assignment. The second, again, just making sure that you know how to use APA style, because all of your disciplines, everything at the Chicago School uses APA. As I said, just to reiterate, you do not need a title page for this assignment. That is rare because it is just a references page. All right, now let's talk about AI. You are allowed to use AI to quickly summarize complex articles. So for example, if you are using one of the Microsoft products, they have Copilot built into their internet browsers. And as you are reading the article, or let's say you find one, you could ask Copilot, hey, explain this to me, in simple terms. Explain this to me like I'm a student at college. Give me the gist. That is absolutely okay. You can also use other AI programs depending upon, like if they're connected to the internet or what their conditions are. But point is that we are okay with you using it to help you get a broad idea of what that article is about. You will not be using AI in future assignments. You are going to have to summarize this yourself in a future assignment. But this is just that very fast, very quick, is this article worth my time or not? Is this related to my topic or not? AI can be a great help with you there. Now I want to caution. AI in particular is pretty iffy with APA formatting. Sometimes it does a spectacular job. Sometimes it completely fails. And the same is true. You might see citation generators or other kinds of citation software. They can do a great job, but almost every single time I have used one or seen students use one, there's a tiny mistake. So if you're going to use AI or another program to help you with your APA formatting, my advice is to double, triple, quadruple check it with the APA 7 references guide. Just make sure, did they use sentence case on the title? Did they italicize maybe the journal name? Did they provide a DOI? Kind of all of those base level requirements, just double check to make sure that it is correct. All right, here we have that detailed step-by-step checklist. This will help you determine, where do I go to find sources? What do I need to do next? It even tells you, use the Chicago School Library, evaluate the credibility, read the abstracts. So again, you don't have to complete this as part of the assignment. This is just for your help and reference. If you need even more assistance, the Office of Student Writing and Learning is there. You can meet with a tutor, and they will be more than happy to review your APA formatting and to provide you with some feedback or resources. We also have a whole website for the Office of Student Writing and Learning that will help you with APA resources, and that academic support hub. Finally, the rubric. This one might look a little strange. It is, in effect, a completion grade. So you'll see that there's only you get full credit, partial credit, or no credit because you didn't submit something. All that you need to do to get full credit is you have 7 sources, 2 general but credible, 5 peer-reviewed, and there are no major issues related to APA formatting. So what we mean is, if you forgot one of those pesky, tricky little periods, that is okay. But if we see that you never included a URL, you never included a date, if there are these huge, major glaring issues on all of your submissions, that would be the problem. That's where you would start getting into partial credit. Either you don't have enough sources, or the sources are really poor in quality. Everything is from your grandmother's Facebook account, or there are major issues with APA formatting. You just include the title of the article and a hyperlink URL to that article. That is not going to be enough. So that's it. It's actually a pretty easy assignment, even though it's tedious, in that so long as you meet the requirements, you will get full credit. My final advice to you on this is to just take your time to refer back to your research proposal, to look at your research questions. Don't hesitate to reach out to your instructor, to librarians. This is just to get you started, because you might change some of the sources in the future. You might find new ones. You might cut ones. That is okay. We just want to make sure, do you know how to find sources? Do you know how to evaluate your sources? And can you put those sources in APA formatting?